Hi guys, welcome back. So we're going to do something a little different in this video. I'm going to do a kind of new segment to give you a lot of hot takes on some articles that I have found and my opinions on them, hopefully to provide some information for you if you don't already know about these. And if you do, feel free to go ahead and comment. And then of course, after we wrap up, comment below, of course, to let me know how these articles, how you feel about them, some of the stuff that you learned about them, or, just your overall opinion. Also, let me know if this is a segment you'd like to see continue. Just know that I do hold veto power, so if I choose to, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. Hopefully this is some good information. So I've done a little bit of scouring of the internets, and let's see what I found. Okay, transition. Okay, so first article that I found is with T-Mobile. Now, I am a T-Mobile customer. I have worked for T-Mobile for many years. I've kind of liked and hated a lot of things that they've done over the years. This one, this one takes the cake. Oh my goodness. So over here, via Android Police, T-Mobile's new tech-friendly suitcase is the pinkest one we've ever seen. And my God, is it pink. Shield your eyes. You might need a pair of sunglasses for this one. At $325, it's one of the pricier suitcases too. So open your checkbook because this right here is going to be what you will get, a giant swath of pink, or as I want to call it, magenta suitcase here. Oh Lord, it's an eyesore, especially how they contrast it with a white car and a log cabin. You've got just a super bright, eye retina melting pink suitcase. Wow, super awesome and brave. I love it. Not. So T-Mobile is known for making edgy marketing campaigns. Actually, they're known for making kind of stupid campaigns, in my opinion, that drive home the message of affordability. Affordability for a $325 suitcase. Gotcha. While occasionally taking digs at rival carriers, which in turn could lead to a legal dispute, as was the case a couple of months ago. Speaking of legal disputes, not only have you got many class actions, all kinds of stuff leading from, this, that, and the other. I don't want to get into too much of it because the overlords will end up saying, how dare you slander the T-Mobiles? No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to tell you exactly what my opinion is on the matter of a freaking suitcase. So if we're looking at this, Samsara Luggage is the partner with T-Mobile, comes with its own wireless charging pad, a power bank with USB-C output, and a special compartment for a tracker tag. Wonderful. Though the pocket appears to be designed specifically for the Apple AirTag. The hard shell suitcase can also double as a flat top work surface to quickly jot something down on your laptop or tablet while on the go. Couldn't you just do that anyways? Well, anyways. So we're looking at this suitcase, and you've got a giant T-Mobile branding here. You've got all the pink that your mind can stand. And then you've got your Apple AirTag spot here, yay. And then inside you've got just a bunch of T-Mobile branded logos. You're basically a walking billboard at this point. You're basically becoming a marketer for T-Mobile unwittingly if you don't realize that at this point. All the T-Mobile stuff they put out is free marketing. So the Uncarrier is currently up for pre-order via T-Mobile's dedicated travel page called Travel Magenta. However, it does not provide specific timeline for its availability, for the carrier saying that orders will begin to ship later this month. Oh, how joyful. Also expected from Samsara, one of the more upscale travel brands. Upscale. Customers will need to shell out $325 plus tax, because we know there's not taxation without representation, to reserve the Uncarrier on via T-Mobile. So there you have it. You've got T-Mobile's suitcase, which basically turns you into a international, if you're one of those traveling billboard that just screams, I'm T-Mobile. Oh, God. Yes, I do agree that they have good service. Yes, I do agree that they offer some of the better deals. Do I agree with their marketing campaign? No, not on every single aspect. Some of them are kind of funny. My absolute most favorite one was the one that came out a few years ago with Steve Harvey, where he had the slip up on the Miss America or Miss whatever thing, Miss Universe. It was quite hilarious. If you haven't seen the clip, check this out.
Is Colombia. I have to apologize. The first runner-up is Colombia. Miss Universe 2015 is Philippines.
And he did a version of that with T-Mobile during Super Bowl, where he ended up making light of it because it was a funny thing that happened. And then he released this commercial right here.
53 state wins, and T-Mobile.
Whoa. Listen, folks, I have to apologize again. Look, those were last year's numbers. It says right here on the card, T-Mobile doubled their LTE coverage in the last year. And with more LTE towers than Verizon, T-Mobile reaches pretty much everyone they do. I'm not taking responsibility on this one. Verizon got it wrong. Yes, not me.
That was probably my favorite one. So moving on to the next topic here, and this comes as of PlayStationLifestyle.net. Sony confirms PS5 price increase hasn't impacted demand thus far. Well, reading into this, we can see that Sony chalked up the price hike to fluctuating exchange rates and a volatile global market post-pandemic. However, many expressed frustration over what appears to be a calculated move to increase the console's price in regions where Sony already dominates the market. The company opted against doing the same in the US, where it faces competition from the Xbox Series X and S. Well, yes, so different regions of the world will experience different price increases or decreases depending on what the region is doing economically and what's happening with prices due to inflation across the board. It's great to see that it didn't happen here in the US. However, is that to say it won't happen? No, because inflation is causing price increases across the board. No matter which way you slice it, whether you're playing with a PlayStation 1 or a PlayStation 5, you're going to experience a price increase somewhere, and that includes the electricity that you're using to run said equipment. Sony's saying they're going to continue to monitor the impact of the PS5 price increase. Interestingly, though, Microsoft's Phil Spencer, their head of Xbox at Microsoft, commented on PS5's price increase by stating that he doesn't think that it's the right time for companies to raise prices considering economic pressures. I have to agree with Phil Spencer there. I've never been a huge advocate for Microsoft and Xbox, though I have owned Xbox consoles, the original Xbox, Xbox 360. I haven't owned anything past that, but they were awesome systems. I think that Xbox being in the market is a great positive. I never want to see them go away. I never want to see anything happen to the three major players, PC aside, which I mostly enjoy my games on PC. But competition drives everybody to, do better in terms of making better games, content, and also having that competition in the market is better for us as consumers because we have price competition. Seeing him say that is good. He also had to do that as a little stab to Sony because, they're going to one-up each other where they can. So going on to the next article, Square Enix. I happen to be a big fan of Square Enix because they make some of my most favorite games of all time. But this one, this will give you an idea of where I stand on this subject. So Square Enix's new farming game lets you choose non-binary pronouns. So, non-binary pronouns. Isn't this wonderful? So not only did we end up seeing stuff move into movies, TV shows, but now it's coming into games because, we all need to have, kids and everyone playing a video game to escape real life have to choose non-binary pronouns. Well, okay, so let's read into this right here. Harvestella will give players the option to choose male, female, or non-binary pronouns in its character creator. Why am I making light of this situation? Well, because it's silly. It's absolutely stupid. I happen to personally believe, now this is my opinion, so don't go bashing me, male and female are the two genders that exist. Whether you believe that you're non-binary or something else is all in the mind, and we could get into that discussion later, and I don't feel like, elaborating on it, but that's where I stand. So having said that, having to look at male, female, and non-binary, it's just ridiculous. They should put other here. Why could they put other, and why would that be better than non-binary? Because other would encompass all kinds of things. Elves, it would encompass cyborgs, it would encompass aliens, all kinds of stuff. They're doing this because they're going woke. They have to placate to the left, and they have to satisfy everyone that would otherwise read to the heavens about this game not being inclusive, diverse, and woke. Reading into this article here from Kotaku.com, it shouldn't be a big ask from gamers to have more gender-inclusive pronoun options in video games, especially in RPGs. RPGs meaning role-playing games, where you assume the role of a character or a customized character and you take on that persona. The choices you make dictate their outcomes and how they play out in the game. The game in question is the cutesy farming simulator Harvestella, which RPG giant Square Enix just released yesterday on PC and Switch. Similar to Stardew Valley, characters in Harvestella are charged with tending to crops, befriending their neighbors, and overcoming calamity in the form of environmental disasters. I wonder why that's in there. But no, so this is just dumb. So our game is for everyone, as Square Enix is saying right here, is just, that's just to satisfy everyone who would otherwise have looked at this male and female and then screamed to the heavens about how this game is exclusive of, those that would not fall into those two categories, even though they do. And then you've got them putting out their rainbow colors and everything, pride, yeah, of course, and all this stuff. It's ridiculous. I don't care which way you swing playing this game. I just think that we shouldn't have to be forced to sit there and see male, female, or non-binary, especially for kids, because they're trying to cram this stuff down kids' throats because they want to create a whole zombie generation. I digress. Nonetheless, you get where I stand on this subject. Moving on. So we're going to Tom's Hardware. This news article is about the RTX 4090 from NVIDIA's GeForce market of GPUs or graphics cards. And so they've been having a problem since their release of overheating because they're drawing ludicrous amounts of power from the wall, wattage. And it's basically saying that they have now reported via Tom's Hardware that the native 16-pin power connector that goes from the power supply in the desktop computing unit to the graphics card itself to provide it power is reportedly melting, as well as some of the other power connectors that have been melting also. They're talking about another victim of the native 16-pin power connector melts down. The manipulated cable, he manipulated the cable carefully and didn't bend or twist it unnecessarily. Why? Because they discovered that if you have excess bends or something in a desktop PC, it can end up causing the power transfer to the graphics card to become affected, and it could otherwise cause issues. And when we've got GPUs that are the size of Cadillacs being stuffed into desktop PCs, you kind of have a hard time not having a bend in the cable itself. Nonetheless, it's causing NVIDIA to have a pretty rough go of it with this new graphics card, with it melting and sucking out power like, the giant Maid in Spaceballs.
Mega Maid. Good. Remarkable. Now, commence Operation VacuSuck. Suck.
So looking at this right here, I would say if you are in the market for getting a GeForce RTX 4090, you might want to hold off. That's just my personal opinion. Or if you're looking at upgrading a graphics card, like I right now have a AMD Radeon RX 590. It was a good graphics card, one of the top of the line at its time, but now it's kind of falling behind. If I was to update right now, I would probably go for the one that just dropped from AMD, which was the Radeon RX 7900 or 7900 XT that had just dropped. Basically what it is something that comes within spitting range of the performance of NVIDIA's power-hungry meltdown Chernobyl GPU right now, and you're paying a lot less. The graphics card in question that we're talking about is $1,600, whereas AMD's is only $999. I say only $999. It's a $1,000 graphics card. It's basically a computer peripheral, but it does deliver amazing power. I'm just saying, if you're looking at the premium GPU marketplace, because they have GPUs in all price ranges for everyone and every need that you could have in terms of GPU processing power, you're paying $600 less. You're drawing far less power.
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
And you're also getting a very, very good device. AMD has turned around what once used to be a NVIDIA dominated market. There's my take on that. Moving on to the next article, we've got something from, what do we got here? WCCFtech.com is saying that Uncharted 4 that released on PC recently has the RTX 4090 that we were just talking about with a camera mod and reshade ray tracing in 8K resolutions, and it looks impressive. The reason I picked this out is because we're talking about what the RTX 4090 is capable of. Once they get this all ironed out, I'm pretty sure they will have a very, very powerful, stable graphics card on their hands. Have no doubt. They are literally pushing 8K Ultra HD. Why am I mentioning this? There is a giant swath of the market, including myself, that doesn't even operate on 4K right now. So why are they pushing 8K? Because it's basically just a giant concept. It's a big thing saying, hey, look what we can do. Would anyone be able to actually utilize this? The 1%. I mean, honestly. So they're just showcasing some mods, what they're capable of with RTX 4090, with Uncharted 4 now on PC. Is it super cool? Yeah, awesome. That's great. Is it practical? Not at all. Because there is not one person that doesn't have a multi-$1,000 system that could hope to run this game in 8K 60 frames per second. Most players are stuck in either 1080p, which is myself included. That's most of the market right now is still gaming in 1080p. And then you've got a little bit bigger chunk of the market that is gaming in 1440p or 2K. That's where the market is kind of comfortable right now. 4K is a small growth sector. It will continue over time just because it takes a lot of power to run anything at 4K native. That's why we have a lot of upscaling and stuff. And then 8K, that's a pauper's dream. That's looking another 5 years down the road, maybe, in my personal opinion. So yeah, just something I'd throw out there with, the 4090, since we just did a topic on that. Now, moving over to a little bit more of the funny side of stuff in the news. So Fortune right here has released information about Elon Musk and Twitter. If you haven't heard the news, Elon Musk, of course, purchased Twitter. Everybody, unless you're living under a rock, you wouldn't know otherwise. Elon Musk purchases Twitter, and he decides to go ahead and fire the CEO, fire a whole bunch of the board, and just, I think this weekend, lay off about half of the workforce, which is approximately about 7,500 out of the 15,000 that run Twitter. Why is that funny? Because people are reading to the heavens right now, screaming that they essentially they've been laid off without notice, and they don't know what they're going to do. Well, you know what? I had worked for a company for quite a while, and I ended up getting laid off as well. Was I given any notice? Not at all. So, it's just part of life. We have to learn to bounce back, essentially, and not be stuck in our, left-ran, free speech suppressed platform. And when someone comes in and makes a change, you either adapt or you move on. What has changed? Well, Twitter is launching a $8 monthly subscription for the blue check marks, which was reserved for those that wanted to be verified. So you knew that you were basically looking at the real person who owned that Twitter account, such as Elon Musk, blue check mark. That means that anyone that goes there and sees the blue check mark knows that that's actually Elon Musk. You're not looking at Elon_Musk or Elon.Musk1, which anyone and their brother can go in there and create a fake account and post stuff pretending to be someone they're not. That's what the whole verification was for. But they used that as ammunition to become this giant left-leaning conglomerate of social media that said that we're being ran by a bunch of blue check marks that, will create a black hole and suck in anyone that has anything to say that's remotely right or even center leaning of the far, far left. What's funny about this is it's kind of created a giant chasm of chaos, and everybody's going nuts at Twitter, having a meltdown. And essentially some of the funnier things that came out of this, since Elon Musk is going to shake up Twitter and make a lot of changes. Will they be good? Will they be bad? Time will tell. But I thought these would be pretty great. So we've got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And if you don't follow Mark Dice, go ahead and do it, because the way he says AOC's name is hilarious. He literally does an Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and it is quite literally just, I'm dead after I watched that. So what happens here is she puts out a tweet that says, LMAO, at a billionaire earnestly trying to sell people on the idea that free speech is actually an $8 a month subscription plan. And then Elon comes back with, your feedback is appreciated. Now pay $8. Dead, completely dead. And then just looking at AOC here with her blue check mark, crying at an empty parking lot. We know AOC's what she's about, and I thought that was just a great way to come back at that. And there's been other ones as well, such as Elon saying trash me all day, but it'll cost you $8, to everybody that's basically just trashing on Elon for taking away their safe space and whatnot. Such as this one right here. Great. Gas like $5 a gallon over in California. And she's like, I don't care. And then to all complainers, please continue complaining, but it will cost $8. Who can afford this? hilarious. This stuff, I mean, it writes itself, and they walk right into this stuff. We'll see what happens as far as Twitter is concerned. Do I use Twitter all that much? Not really. Even on this channel, I use Twitter just mainly to get information out there, letting someone know that follows me when I drop a new video or when I'm going live on something. But yeah, we'll see how this develops and continue to monitor it. This right here came from Fortune via the Associated Press, and these right here were just basically from Elon himself and AOC via Twitter.com. But that is going to do it for the news today. Like I said, go ahead and let me know what you thought of this. It was a little lengthy. I'm going to try to tighten this up on the next one because I want to kind of give like a little bit of a rapid fire news session. I kind of get talkative. I ramble on about stuff. That's just me. That's my nature. But again, let me know what you thought about this. Any of the news articles, did you find them interesting? Did they make you laugh? Did they make you, have a complete meltdown? I don't care. Either way, let me know, and I'll go ahead and end this here. This is Changing Channels. I'm going to go ahead and change over to something else, and I will see you next time. Later.